daytime again, in maybe a more quiet mood. This is the Russian Orthodox Greek Catholic Church of America. Several faiths are represented at the fair via churches, temples, synagogues, and religious exhibits. The most important work of art at the fair is on display here at the Vatican Pavilion. Michelangelo's 465-year-old masterpiece, the Pietà, had never been taken from the Vatican until the late Pope John granted permission for it to be brought to the fair. The well-known evangelist religious message is presented by the Billy Graham Evangelistic Association in the color film and a variety of exhibits. Personal counseling is offered to all who desire it. The Masonic Brotherhood Center is a display case of Masonic history from medieval times. Sponsored by the Grand Lodge of the State of New York, among its exhibits is the Bible on which George Washington took the oath of office as president. One of the more elaborate religious exhibits is this replica of the Mormon Temple of Salt Lake City. There are twin exhibition halls that provide movies and dioramas telling the story of the Mormon Church. A world of unity. Peace through understanding. There is no doubt that the religions and organizations such as the Masonics play an important role toward that goal. But it takes more than that to bring this about. As it takes more than spreading the products of our labors, our free enterprise around this globe. And after all, this is a World's Fair, a fair for and by the countries and the peoples of this world of ours. And this brings us to what I believe is the most interesting part of the fair, the international area. And what more appropriate place to start than the Court of Nations, a wide avenue flanked by the flags of the participating countries. It is only natural that here we find the official timepiece of the fair. The time center in front of the Swiss Pavilion is a concentrated display of controls that regulate the clocks of the fair. The building itself is a Swiss-type chalet and features, besides watches, Swiss chocolates and, of course, cheese. But our main reason for picking Switzerland for our first stop wasn't time, but the Sky Ride, a typical product of this high mountain country. For it is from here we can get a general all-over view of the international area of the fair. These 4 passenger cabins travel for 1,875 feet to a height of 113 feet, offering an unobstructed view of the fairgrounds. No traffic problems here. A clear look at the Unisphere, presented by United States Steel Corporation, is afforded. Because of uneven distribution of the land masses, this unbalanced structure of 940,000 pounds required the solution of mathematical problems so complex that without high-speed computers, planning the Unisphere would have taken 10 years. Here, in the international area, we find not all the action confined to the pavilions. A marching bagpipe band from Jordan passes by. This pylon of India symbolizes the architectural planning that has gone into the pavilions of the various countries. Their interior displays are as varied and interesting as the people from their host countries describing them.
Well, this is a muslin shawl, and it's made by what we call the tie and dye process, where the entire cloth is tied up, and the area that is tied with thread doesn't take the color. And then once it's tied, it is dipped in a certain color, then it's dried, then it's retied and redipped until you get that very elaborate pattern. Then the silver is woven in right in the end. This is a village home. Now that elephant that you're interested in is made of rice straw, and it's a container of some kind. Originally, the saying goes that the girl's family always took her dowry, the bride's family took her dowry on elephant back to the groom's house. But sometimes when they couldn't afford an elephant, or when there were no elephants in the area, well, they had these.
Now there's an elephant story for you.
These are dolls that are from Greece. They're at the World's Fair at the Greek Pavilion, and they're all authentic costumes from the various provinces of Greece. This is the Queen's Royal Guard, and it's a faithful reproduction in every way, down to the three skirts and to the pom-poms and the black garters with tassels. Then we have this doll, is a Macedonian doll, and the gold represents her dowry, the gold coins around her neck, which is traditional in Greece. And she has a top skirt and an underskirt and an apron, ruffled sleeves.
At the exhibit of Morocco, the ancient art of the weaving of the rug was demonstrated. This is very much the family affair for the wives and daughters, in that after the day's chores of normal housekeeping in the Moroccan manner, instead of going off to the local bridge party or bowling league, they stay home and weave these very beautiful rugs. The girls start at a very young age, working afternoons after school. The same can be said of the young boys of the family, in that before they are 10 years after school, they will go to their father's shop and learn the making of designs on this beautiful metalwork. It is all hand done, and their way of making a little extra money after school. Three imposing statues of pharaohs, all centuries old, guard the triple arch entrance of the United Arab Republic Pavilion and stand as symbols of ancient Egypt. Motion pictures, maps, models, and displays of products provide a panorama of the UAR's agricultural and industrial achievements. A museum holds treasures of the past of Egypt, including some of the objects found in the tomb of King Tutankhamun, who died about 1344 BC. The new and old of Pakistan are blended in the pavilion itself, a modern structure of lava stone topped by the petal-shaped dome, which is traditional in Islamic architecture.
This mural, made out of different fabrics of jute fiber, is sent here to the World Fair to symbolically represent a major industry in Pakistan, manufacturing burlap, and portrays the scene of East Pakistan where the golden fiber called jute is grown, and tells the story of the fiber, how the finished goods come down to the press house where they are pressed down into these composite bales bound by these two-point bands, and how research is in progress to improve the fabrics to attract ladies to use them for garments.
Architecturally speaking, the Sierra Leone Pavilion is particularly interesting. The three conic shapes are reminiscent of this West African country's mountain peaks, and carry out the design of the three pyramids that appear in the nation's coat of arms. A major industry here is diamonds, and the display shows how diamonds are transformed from rough stones to cut and furnished gems. Like most of the international pavilions, a restaurant is included here, serving the dishes particular to Guinea. The prices at this restaurant are moderate, the food good, and the Guinean show very African. The exhibit area of Guinea displays carvings of wood and ivory, silver and bead jewelry, ceramics, and cloth with bold print designs.